Hello my friends, this is Best Irish Cheese, and today I'm going to talk about some football, more particularly fantasy football. A lot of people don't know what that is. They just look at it and go, what are those people talking about? Why is this thing such a big deal? I'll tell you why it's a big deal. The thing that makes fantasy football so enjoyable isn't just playing it. It's the fact that you can cheer for your players. Say you've got a player on New England Patriots, you can cheer for a player on the Patriots even if you can't stand the Patriots, which is where I stand. I can't stand them. They're competition in my eyes. The big thing about all this fantasy stuff and what makes it so addicting though is you're constantly updating your roster all the time, because teams have bye weeks, which means once in a while like a team gets 1 week off during the regular season. So and they're not all the same week, so it's just random players here and there. Players get injured. So basically, the general summation of it is you have players, you pick them from random different teams, you get a certain amount of positions for each player, so you can only have one quarterback in at a time, stuff like that. And for every yards thrown for the quarterback, or yards caught by a receiver, or running yards catching, and different stats for offensive and defensive players, and that's kind of how the points sum it up. Now, this is, I believe, my third year playing. You also get to pick your team name and stuff like that. I am the Wildfish. That's a very great name. Perhaps someday I'll tell you where the name came from. I didn't come up with it. I think it's the best name in the whole league. There are 12 other teams that play. This year I think we're all putting in a pool of like $5, that way the winner gets like $50 in the end. Just something to try and win for. But the funny thing is, on my team I ended up with Drew Brees, QB for the New Orleans Saints, one of the best of our generation. Right up there with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And speaking of Tom Brady, I don't play him, but some idiot dropped him last year because he rage quit from the league, which was kind of a pansy move because it screws up everybody else. Because when you stop playing, then everybody that you have on your schedule just gets a free win, and it throws everything out of whack. And he just dropped all of his players. And only 2 people noticed. He had Tom Brady, and only 2 people noticed that Tom Brady was on the open market for nothing. There was me and my brother, and I was 1 game shorter than he was in victories, so I was down a little bit. So defaultly, I got him when I picked him up. We both went for him, but because my record was worse, I got him, so I laugh. Good trade value for this year. So this thing is extremely addictive. You just got all your players, you're literally watching every game you can, you're updating it every 5 minutes, you check it probably 15 times a day. Most people, they all obsessed over Facebook and such, but me, I'm a fantasy football kind of guy. I went from being a devoted Bills fan to just loving the NFL in general. I know, Bills, I'm a loser. My team sucks. They're all awful, except for Spiller. I love Spiller. I have him on my team. I franchise tagged him. You can only do so many a year. You can only keep like 3 players a year, depending on how your league is set up. And I decided one of them would be Spiller, because he's going to do much better than Buffalo. I just know he's going to go places. He's going to make a real name for himself. But anyway, back onto the topic of fantasy football more towards. Now, part of the problem is the playoffs. Since most of the teams don't make it there, you can't really continue on with what you have. So what ends up happening is you only have a 17-game season, and there's the 14-game regular season for fantasy, and then there's like 3 more games which are like the championship rounds, and that's how they fit it in and manage to make it all work nice and neat. So that's how they do it. It's not a very user-friendly system at all. It's so incredibly complicated. The first year you have no idea what you're doing. And even this year, I still have so many problems, not with the regular day-by-day things, but the drafting system never works right. It picked 3 players that I didn't want it to. Like my first pick, I kept 3 players, which is the max from last year, so I lost my first 3 picks. So in the 4th round, I went to go pick a player, and it gave me Wes Welker. It showed him as the best player left, and I thought, what the heck? And then all of a sudden, after I picked him, the whole board reset, and then there were like 15 better players than him that popped up out of nowhere, and I'm scratching my head going, what on earth just happened? So that's just one of 15 things that went wrong in my drafting. Apparently it happened to my sister-in-law too, so that kind of sucked. I think that whoever's in charge of that should be fired. Stupid idiots. Anyway, thank you for watching. I did much better this game, as you can see. Subscribe to the Best Irish Cheese. That is me. And by doing so, you will be subscribing yourself to the most beautiful person, the most beautiful heart of gold, and all things gold can buy. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome, beautiful, wonderful day.